limited number of choices, but it will bring the point home in my view. I mean, so it's either A, you take the money and go to the beach and allow the business continue running with your name as founder any day, which is a strong point you raise, or you just hold on, you get frail, and then the business goes after you do. Thank you very much for that clarification. Mr. Frank, if you're still with us, as firms grow, they develop key talent. I think it was Mr. Oseji who said that they don't hire from outside, right? They grow people from inside and they build them up into world beaters, right? I assume that's of course the same in your own organization, like Frank Nigeria. So what do you do to ensure that your key talent, your key people stay and they don't leave? What do you do to retain your key talent? I think you're muted, sir. I think you are muted. Okay.
Can you hear me, Ayo? Thank you very much.
Loud and clear.
Good. We have what we call strategies we use to retain our key personnel, and we call it true leadership transition. Right? Transition happened when you take a role or when you retain the client. Let me take mine. I took over as a senior partner in 2020. And it's important to have a strong personal strategy and solid inner caucus team to execute these plans for you. You can remember that employees are the soul of any business. If you take care of them very well, they will take care of your business and also with your profits. Here's what we normally do. When we took over, I personally, with my team, we created an inspiring and beautiful work environment first. We shared a strong corporate vision and objectives of what we want. What do we want to do? We need to cascade these objectives, this vision. We presented a clear communication channels for feedback. People are very difficult to change. So we need to be straightforward with them. And we need to train. We need to retrain. Send some internationally, some locally. We upscale our corporate brands. And again, we're looking at what are our narrations so that we can change the narration. We had a strict budgeting control in place, cost control measures, and strong legal compliance in place. We got in high new talents. We tactfully eased out the redundant ones and set the goals for the new ones. We're tracking what they were doing. We're having NPRO sections. We're having town hall sections. We're motivating them through a lot of things, through transactions they come in with. And the strong thing was we implemented an open and transparent reward system for good performance. Now our employees are very happy. Our retaining level globally is a strong one. That's when you find people still working in this same system for more than 2 decades. Except the young ones who don't understand. And the young ones, we've exposed them to retention. Since the leadership transition, people feel very happy. They feel valued at work. And we call them the dream team. and we're always winning together. That is our narration. These are these key strategies we try to put in place to retain our people. So in partnership, you must dip in. You must evaluate. You must get strong integrity from them. And that's where you can have this strong brand, this same strong partnership that works. Many thanks,
many thanks to you, sir. But I have a question for you, please. You said something about working for, did you say 30 years? Was that what I heard? You said 30 years, okay. And we, the young ones, you know, we are not content. So my question to you is, what is the thinking? How does somebody work in one place for 30 years and, you know, you don't jump out and start your own and register young people? What's the thinking? How does that compute in young? I know we've had this conversation before, but I think for the benefit of the audience, you know, I would want to have your own thoughts on
that. The subtext is quite very simple. It's about mentoring. It's about the contentment. It's about the exposure. It's about planning for the future. For readiness for people to grow in that same system. So when you know you have a very strong future in a system, you will run. When you have strong satisfaction, when you know you belong to a brand, what am I going to do outside? When I know when I leave this same partnership, my interests will still be taken care of till I pass on. Sam Cooke talked about mentorship and some few other things in his keynote address. You see, when in a partnership, people are mentored. They look forward to that exposure they get. They are taught in a professional way. They don't want to go out. They want to get exposed to that same culture. And they want to do it differently. You know, these things require tact. It requires a lot of intentionality and guardians. So you must have people experienced and trusted to help you train what you have and bring out the best out of you. Then you get into that system and remain where you are and get to know what the professional is about. And that's what we're trying to create now in the Knight Frank. It's one of our vision that we have to set up an academy. And probably in the next second quarter would have been straight on. We want to retrain the young people. We want to give back to the profession. Because we find out these young boys, I think you were in one of those seminars when we had the association, when we talked about partnership, when we talk about firms coming together to have their belongings. People thought we were advocating for people to close their firm. No. We're saying that the product we have requires a lot of retraining. People who can specialize in what they do in that space. Mentorship is a secret weapon people don't understand. It's a strong success and it must feature in our profession. We must respect our mentors and our mentee. There will be generation change, but people still have that different perspective. Why do we respect ourselves? Why are we? Do we give room for this experience? Do we have that time for creativity? We don't have to play ourselves. We have to play it right. So, Ayo,
you know,
those are my two takeaways for why we keep this. That's why I'm still here today. So by the time I leave, what do you think I'll be doing again? It's all about consulting, retraining the young people I left behind. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. As we come to the end of this session, we have just two more questions. One for Mr. Osage and Mr. Kuki will be.
If you don't mind, please, I have a follow-on. I wanted to make a point quickly, which I think is important.
Please do, please.
Thank you very much. So I wanted to make the point that just following up from the discussions we had earlier. So it's either you let the business die or you pass it on to the next generation somehow. Once we have identified family members that are willing to take on the business, it is okay to expose them to learning how proper organization works outside the organization. So if the opportunities for you to send your son or your daughter to another firm, so I know the law offices do it a lot. Okay, yes, you're going to take over running this firm, but I want you in the meantime, in the next 3 to 5 years, to go and learn with another law office that's properly run. They can get a rounded view. You don't come into the office every day knowing that, oh, I'm going to take over this business. You work in a place where you are a contemporary with everyone, and you're able to build capacity and good work ethic. I think that's important because most times, if a child just comes from the place knowing that, oh, I'm going to take over this business, there's some things they don't know.
Yeah.
They're not willing to learn the work. I thought it was important to mention that. Thank you very much.
Yes, you were right in thinking it was important, and thank you for bringing in that perspective. It does help. It does help at least moderate any sense of entitlement. It does help, because sometimes some people don't know the difference between parents at home and parents at the office. Two different things. So yes, quite succinctly put. My next question goes to Mr. Osage. How do you again manage conflicts between current leaders and incoming leaders? So you have people who have been with you for years and their battle stories you can just start saying, and everyone else is lost apart from the few of you who were there. And then there are new people, the young ones, as Mr. Frank would call them, who are now coming in as new leaders. How do you manage the conflict that inevitably rises between both sets of leaders?
For me, very straightforward. There won't be any need for such kind of conflict in our system. For instance, like I said, we have a very clear operational manual that details quite practically everything we do as a firm of asset surveyors and valuers. The responsibility of the guys in management, the guy in letting, the HODs, very detailed handbook. So once you come into the system, we'll give you a copy of the handbook. And you study it, you have questions, you ask. And like Frank also mentioned, we also have a very strong internal mentorship system. The old guys have been in the system, they mentor the younger ones as they come in, let them know how things are done here. And we have a very strong culture that you cannot break. You either, imbibe our culture or you are out. So it's difficult for us to have those kind of personality clashes or young and old leaders kind of challenges. We will actually help. But if of course, we have internal mechanisms for dealing with those issues. We have, for example, let me explain this. In Osage and Osage, we have 3 levels of leadership structure. We have the partnership board, which is headed by the most senior partner and other partners, and the group accountant is co-opted. Then we have what we call the management committee, MC, that comprises of the partners, the associate partners, and the branch heads. Then we'll have what we call the strategic management committee, which is a larger house that has the partners, associate partners, branch heads, and the HODs. So at the branch level, we also have structures to deal with all those kind of disagreements and issues that arise. If they can't resolve it at that level, they escalate it to the partnership level and it's resolved. So it's a whole government of structure to deal with. I mean, in any organization that has human beings as operators, there's bound to be some conflicts. But we have internal structures, and such an is about 22 years old now. We've been able to manage, and we've not had any reason to have any major crisis. Then, more importantly, we have our approach. We have a stick and carrot approach. Very important. We pamper people and also push them to the extreme if they're not willing to abide by the rules of the system. I think that actually, so if you come into the system, the culture is strong enough, to absorb and, can I say, culturalize you. You begin to think, you begin to talk and reason like us. And we have mentors. Each HOD, which manager provides that kind of mentorship service, unpaid for, to make sure that there's harmony, there's proper understanding in the system, and things are run properly.
Thank you very much, sir. Just one follow-on question. How do you know when you need to adjust your handbook? Because you're managing people and people live in times and times change and things might need to be updated. How do you know when you need to change a system, a process to ensure that governance is tight and succession is more likely to happen? How do you know when to update your handbook?
Perfect. I mean, there's evolution. Things evolve. I mean, practice 10 years ago is different from practice now. Incident happens. And for example, let me give you a typical instance. The issue of PRO or jobs done, violation, for instance. The practice we had about 10 years ago is different from the practice we have now. In agency relationship, for instance, we have also modified the way we do things. We used to do things 10 years ago, and we will do them now. So as events happen, as things evolve, our manual is also reviewed and adjusted to fall in line with current realities. I think that's actually, so it's not static. It evolves. For example, we are used to be 2 partners. Now we're 5 until recently 4. A lot of things has also changed administratively to accommodate, like I talked about, the issue of the several structures. The most senior partner is the head of the partnership board. The next senior partner is heads the MC. Then the non-senior partner ends the strategic management committee. So it's a very complex system.
It evolves, yes.
A lot.
Yeah, it does. Thank you very much for that. Okay, to round up our panel session, our question goes to our lead presenter for today, Mr. Sam Cookie Jr. And let me ask it this way: how can governance manage entitlement culture? How can it manage hiring? And how can it just keep the system growing, especially where the children of founders are in leadership? Let's see. Did you hear me, sir? Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I was asking, how can governance be designed such that it manages entitlement, it manages the culture of the organization, it manages hiring, it manages the entire management of a professional services business when the children of the founders are the ones in leadership?
Okay. I started by asking us to separate ownership from operations.
Yes.
Just listening today, it shows how deeply ingrained the ownership and practice are. You can own a business without working in it. You can own a school and not be a teacher, but you will engage professionals with all the professional criteria being met. Okay. Now, if you have a business which you've started, that legal entity is going to survive you unless it stops doing business properly. So when we're talking succession and so on, it's the title, the ownership we're talking about, not the fabric of the building or the company. If your children are not interested or are not in that field or are not capable, don't put them in the business, but it doesn't stop them owning it. Okay, so I think when you set up your business, you have to be sure that what you're passing them is the ownership of it. And your documents will allow for management, executive management, everything else to be employed and sustained and meet all the criteria for your industry, whatever that is, whatever profession that is. But I don't have to be a footballer to own a football club, for goodness sake. Business and professions they're two different things. And I think we have to keep clarity about what is a business decision and what is a professional decision, and in which area you're operating at each time. So when your partnership board meets, I think that's an excellent example. Many times you have 3, 4 individuals, 5 who are partners. The only time they meet is project-based and they're talking projects. That's not leadership. When they meet for the business, they're a partnership board and they take business decisions for the partnership. When they go now to work professionally, their executive board or executive committee and so on is responsible and accountable for their professional decisions. Okay, they relate, but it's as he spoke, you could see clearly that they've sorted it out. If you don't sort it out, you're always going in with mixed ideas. You're not sure whether you're speaking as an owner or as a professional or as a member of staff. So please just keep in your mind that the owners of the business own the business, just as you own the property that's on number 15 something something road. Okay, your child doesn't have to live in it to own it, but you can employ facility managers and everything to run it correctly and deliver value to customers and build a brand around that. So that's how I would answer that one. It's the clarity that's important.
Thank you very much.
Not nice for professionals sometimes.
Thank you very much for that response. It appears that you've given us a new assignment to go and understand again, or understand at a deeper level. If we didn't understand it before, what the difference is between operations and ownership. I think it's a concept that we may probably understand theoretically, but in practice, I guess there's still a few overlapping areas. So thank you so much for that. Just a quick jump into the questions.
Yeah, thanks.
Quite a number of questions have been answered. Thank you very much to our panelists that have answered the questions. You typed in the Q&A box. Some questions have already been answered by the panelists. I don't want to keep them on for too long. I think with that, we can say a very big thank you to all our partners, to all our panelists, to all our attendees, at least for being with us up till this moment. I want to truly appreciate you. I think this is all from me. I will now NIESV, his screen seems frozen. Can you get me, sir? You seem to be muted. Okay, you're muted, sir, if you're speaking to us.
I had a network. So can you repeat?
Okay, no,
Can you hear me?
Yes, we're done with the panel discussion and the Q&A. So I've on back to you. A number of questions were put in the Q&A box, and those questions have been answered by the panelists, and also the questions were answered a bit in the presentations that were made. So I thought to hand it over to you.
Okay. I'm going to take advantage of advantage position to ask Mr. Seji a question that I posted in the panelist chat group. So Ayo, as moderator, if you allow me to just ask this question, which is he mentioned about sweat equity, and how would they evaluate sweat equity transparently?
Thank you, Benga. For those who don't understand what I meant by set equity, but for us as an Oseji, we discovered that approach was not effective, because you find out what they'll do is they'll not be deducting the value of the share buying from your yearly entitlements. And in most instances, the yearly entitlement is not even enough to take off the need of the partner. So what we did was to structure our system. We have almost an 11 years career plan. You come in as a young surveyor and you progress. Surveyor 1, Surveyor 2, Surveyor 3, Senior Surveyor, Principal Surveyor, Associate Partner 1, Partner 2. But when you cross Associate Partner 2, you become an equity partner. So what we mean by sweat equity is that if you successfully pass through our system from the first level to Associate 2, you have contributed so much to the growth enough parameters, both financial and your personal contribution. We have strategies for assessing your contribution, both financially and otherwise. So I think we have it all work out, and it has worked. At least we have about 3 young surveyors that grew through the system, and now equity partners, and they can talk to me. We can share ideas and share money. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that. So thank you very much. I would, Chairman, are you still available to us here? It's time to just appreciate our panelists with a lot of sweat, our own sweat equity at this point. So, Chairman, please, it's time to present the plaque.
Okay, but I thought you said you're going to do the presentation in their offices. You know, it's just
yes,
the e-plaque that we are presenting here.
We are presenting the e-plaque here, but the physical one, I will do the labor with one of my committee members and come to the offices of each of our panelists. Though Canada has not been allocated and budgeted, and Abuja has not been budgeted.
So am I going to see the e-plaques? I'm not. I
yes,
don't have
the e-plaque. The e-plaque.
Are you posting them so for me to see? So I can read it out to our fantastic panelists. Wow. Thank you so much. There's the first e-plaque, the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, Lagos State Branch, presents this award of honor to Mr. Sam Cookie Jr. as guest speaker at the Heads of Practice Assembly. Today, the 2nd day of February 2023. Thank you so much, sir. The plaque will be presented.
Thank you very much. I've enjoyed myself. I hope you have as well. Thank you very much.
Yes, I have. The second award of honor is to be presented to Estate Surveyor and Valuer Yasit Oseji, a fellow of the institution, as a discussant panelist at the Edge of Practice Assembly, today, 22nd day of February 2023. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you,
so
ma'am.
much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for this.
Thank you, sir. Now to the third award. Wow. This award is to the Madam in our midst. This award of honor is hereby presented to Mrs. S.A. Nkadi as a discussant panelist at the Edge of Practice Assembly, theme Corporate Governance and Succession on webinar series, this 22nd day of February 2023. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much. I'm truly grateful, and I was happy to be here.
Thank you, ma'am. So, okay, this is the first award. NIESV Lagos State Branch presents this award of honor to Estate Surveyor and Valuer Frank Oposun, a fellow of the institution, as a discussant / panelist at the Edge of Practice Assembly, theme Corporate Governance and Succession. Today, 22nd day of February 2023. Thank you so much, sir.
Well appreciated. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. That's the fourth award. Any other one? Benga.
Yes.
Okay. This is the fifth one. NIESV Lagos State Branch presents this award of honor to Dr. Adeoye Adefulu as discussant / panelist at the Edge of Practice Assembly, theme Corporate Governance and Succession. Today, 22nd day of February 2023. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for the honor, for the invitation, and I look forward to working with NIESV's Lagos and National Branch subsequently.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Look forward to working with you too. Then to our moderator of the day, Estate Surveyor and Valuer Ayo Ibaru. Award of honor to Estate Surveyor and Valuer Ibaru as moderator at the Edge of Practice Assembly, theme Corporate Governance and Succession. Today, 22nd day of February 2023. Thank you so much, Ayo.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you all for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, Benga, I
Thank
think
you.
I'm done.
Yes, thank you very much. You should have given you your own plaque too.
So, yeah,
You should have given your own plaque.
Okay, we'll be expecting mine
for
from the
work you have done.
HOP subcommittee.
But thank you, Chairman, for I would like to, at this point, I hope everyone can still hear yourself. So everybody can still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Loud and clear.
Okay, I'm not sure. Nobody's saying anything, so I'm not sure if I'm still.
We can hear you. I can hear
I'm
you.
being heard.
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear. We can hear you. I think it's you that can hear us.
I think he's bounced up. I think he's lost the connection. Well, I think we lost him.
Wow. I don't know. I should not do the, since it's not online, I should just do the vote of thanks.
Yes, please.
Because our time is fast spent. So I will just, on behalf of the HOP chairman and subcommittee members, I would like to say a big thank you.
2.5 hours.
I would like to say a big thank you to our guest
Half of which I
speaker.
thought could have been better.
Our guest speaker of today, Mr. Sam Cookie Jr., and our panelists of today, Mrs. Ese Nkadi, Estate Surveyor and Vala Oseji, NIESV Frank Okosun, and Dr. Adefulu. We really appreciate you for taking time out of your very tight schedule to be here today. Thank you, and God bless you. So, bye-bye. Thank you, Ayo Ibaru. Thanks so much for doing a good
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your day.
Yeah. So, thank you.
Sorry, I was hoping that I will not come back and meet only one person left. So our panelists, let me say a big thank you. If I believe everybody can still hear me. Let me say a big thank you. I do appreciate that in plan. I appreciate that when we when I picked up the phone, the time was short, and I reached out to most of who I call my friends on the panelists, and I'm so glad that they all said yes, despite the short time. I know Mr. Cookie Junior is traveling. He is in between transit, and I'm happy he accepted. I know it's very early morning in Canada, but President Kadi accepted to do it. But I know they are both passionate about corporate governance and success. So I effectively knew that they would say yes, because we wanted to get some of what they understand about governance and speak to us as asset surveyors and value, and most importantly, professional service firms. Because it's important to succeed and succeed yourself. And I've heard a lot of the words that proper organizations succeed themselves, and how it is going to be proper is what we wanted to learn today. And I must say, today has been very, very impactful, even for me. There's certain things I have picked up. And I want to thank each and every one of our panelists. Let me start from my chairman, that I call him, Mr. Frank Okosu, who has done a magician's work at Night Frank. And I implore everyone to at least see what he has done, spend some time there, and effectively understand what transition really means. I move on to my other friend, a very cool, calm, obeying gentleman, Mr. Hyacinth Oseji, who I always admire from afar. And what he and his late partner have done, and have to be modeled upon. I thank you very much for accepting our invitation. My friend, Dr. Adefulu, is my brother. I shouldn't be calling him my friend. He's also the chairman of the section of business law of the NBA, one of the biggest sections at the NBA, and a managing partner of Odujene Adefulu. And they've done a wonderful job in that firm, taking it from a beautiful beginning and now for being here. Mr. Kadi, Deputy, yes, I think I'm back again. Quickly before my technology goes off again. I want to thank you, Mr. Kadi, for being part of us. I think he's left here now. and everyone else that has been part of this. We say thank you to you all. For those who have, we have two sponsors. Kujo Estate. Kujo Estate happens to be an estate being developed in the Caribbean island, Belize, and it's a resort estate, a villa resort estate being developed by Nigeria, and they've gladly supported this program effectively to promote some of their investment in that part of the world. Our second sponsor, Homestead, they are based here. They're developing 23 two-bedroom units in Lasso and Lekki, and effectively, whoever wants to participate can reach out effectively in the sales of these flats that is developed here. So I thank both of them for being part of this as well. So that's it, noble colleagues. We've come to the end, and I hope each person has picked up, each head of practice and noble colleague has picked up something or two for us to grow our firms and grow profitability through well-structured organizations that deliver value and deliver our intention. Thank you very much. So that's it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.